One of the most frustrating and hard parts for new players in Cabal is leveling your character to 200. This is because Cabal has very steep XP curves that aren't really explained that much in the tutorials. Well, I'm here today to tell you how I leveled my character to max with just 14 days of playing. Another easy thing to do that doesn't take 14 days is hitting the like and subscribe button. Before we get started though, we first need a couple of things that make our XP grind as efficient and successful as possible. Keep in mind that what I'm about to list off aren't actually necessary, but will help us tremendously. The first and most important thing we need is to be playing during an event period. I think in every video of Cabal I've put out, I've said this, but it warrants another time of saying anyway. Cabal is only worth playing during event periods. If you are new to this game and are playing during a non-event period, you are wasting your time. Cabal is so old that it has balanced itself for the majority of Giga OP characters. New characters are not playing a fair game. Every resource has been calibrated against them. But this is least felt during event periods. More specifically, leveling event periods. Here, characters earn temporary equipment items upon reaching certain levels that will make it so you are virtually immortal during the low and mid dungeons as you progress. If you are playing on or after the release of episode 38, Cabal actually has a built-in reward system for this, making it not necessary to wait for an event. The items given here are so strong, we don't really have to worry about dying until much later, which is a very good feeling when you are grinding dungeons for XP. Aside from the equipment, they also give free premium beads and potions. The next important thing you need is owls. Of course, playing Cabal means we always need more owls. These owls will primarily be used for dungeon entries. I won't go into much detail on how to get owls as I already have numerous videos already covering this topic. The third and final piece of the puzzle is the 1000% XP bonus bead. Again, the things I've listed off so far are only helpful factors, but not really necessary. The 1000% XP bonus makes it so instead of me getting 500 XP, I got 7566 XP instead. And later on, instead of getting only 8 million XP, I got 143 million XP instead. Alternatively, you can buy them off the agent shop instead, but it maxes out at only 200%. I got these one-day beads for free every weekend during the leveling event in Cabal PH. Combined with the blessing beads and another 200% from the event, I had a total of around 1,400 bonus. You can also gain a pretty good XP boost from buying a platinum bead. Once you hit about level 180 or more, I also recommend you don't grind for XP unless you also have beads like this. First thing we have to do is pick which type of class our character will be. Since my strategy involves only going through dungeons, the best character to choose would be a blader, while the worst class to pick is a force shielder. I'll go over the specifics of classes in a future video. A side note, unfortunately the VODs from my stream turned out to be blurry, so sometimes I'll just substitute recordings from my other character I was leveling up, which happened to be a dark mage instead. I followed a similar pattern in my strategy of leveling, so there shouldn't be any problem. The first 9 levels are the same with or without the XP boost and event. This is because all you're given so far are tutorial quests. However, upon hitting that level 10 and completing our first BS level up quests, we can start killing mobs that give way higher XP. Quests take too much time to complete. Some quests also only give out little owls or honor points, which aren't important to us right now. The only quests worth doing when leveling up are the BS level up quests, as they buff our SP and battle modes. And on the days that our XP bead expires, we should do our main quests until we reach the level 53 mainline quest in Port Lux. This allows us to choose a nation, unlocking a TP and another 10% increased XP boost. This isn't required until we reach level 180, where we can only get into Arcantries and Seni if we have a nation. If you plan on fighting for a specific nation later on, there is also a quest to change your nation when you hit about 80. The first tip in leveling up in Cabal is to always hunt mobs that are at a way higher level than you. You can easily tell this by checking if the mob name is red or yellow. You can also check by manually clicking on the mob's HP bar. You should avoid farming mobs with gray names as they give out relatively low XP. In my stream, I went ahead to the highest level area accessible at the time. This would be the Entros area at the Desert Scream map. As you can see here, every map has a bright red name. But since I had my event items, I could easily kill them. At the start, hitting each of them gave me 80% or even fully leveled me. But even though the XP here was really good, you can find other places where it's even better. Farm this area until you hit about level 30. Upon reaching it, you unlock the first Chaos Arena, which is one of the best places to get XP. When choosing the best place to grind XP, you should prioritize dungeons that have little space but have dozens of higher level mobs. Chaos Arena would be perfect, but some mobs here are ranged, making your AoE skills less effective. Farming the first Chaos Arena level, I easily got 20 levels and level 50 in just 5 minutes. Getting level 50 means we unlock a whole new map, Port Lux. Here we do the same thing and ignore all the quests, TP straight to the highest level part, which is typically always in the last part of the map. I did this until I reached level 55 and stopped, primarily because I got bored with the less dense mob dispersion. Here I finally upgraded my skills. I won't be explaining my stats and skills taken here, as I expect you guys to just read a guide or something online. Or if you really wanna copy what I did, just go skim the live streams. Hitting level 55 means we can finally go off to farm our first mission dungeon, the Lake in the Dusk. The leveling event gave me 3 Lake in the Dusk entries when I hit level 55. At this stage, I plan to use all of them immediately to get as much XP while still being at a low level, ensuring that I kill literally every mob. My first run gave me 25 levels, while my second run only gave me 4. This is unfortunately nothing compared to the XP curves we'll experience later. Now that we have used all our free lake entries, it's time for Ruina Station. This dungeon is famously one of the best for XP because of this one part with the infinite mechanical balls. Unfortunately though, because of how much XP we got in the 3 runs at Lake earlier, this part doesn't give us that much XP anymore. I got to level 100 within just 3 runs here. If you don't have an XP blessing bead however, you can spend more time in the Bulls part. Level 100 is special since you can take all the BS level up quests to get Transcender and all your AoE skills to farm mobs better. At this point, there isn't much strategy to talk about, since mobs from the basic maps give you next to nothing. Just farming dungeons is the best option. In my live stream, I went ahead with whatever dungeon my BS level up quest required me to do. I do note however that if you don't have equipment from the leveling event, then this point will be the hardest for you, since Khalid's set will only comfortably last you up to about level 120 or so. In my first day of leveling, I managed to get to level 122 in just 4 hours. Trust me guys, this 1000% XP bead is worth buying if you want to save so much time. Our strategy for the next part is just to farm the dungeons closest to our level and battle power. The dungeon list and the menu organizes them based on the recommended BPs. The general idea is the harder the dungeon, the more XP the mobs will give. The next most important factor to consider is how many bosses each dungeon contains. This is because the difficulty and tankiness of most dungeons higher up are concentrated in their bosses instead of the mobs like earlier ones do. The exception here of course being Chaos Arenas, since it has many strong mobs. Now I'll go over the best dungeons to farm based on this criteria for levels 120 to 170. Keep in mind that it's okay to repeatedly die in these dungeons if you aren't strong enough. Just kill the mobs you can reasonably do with the time you have and do it again on other runs. For level 120s, you will want to go farm Illusion Castle Underworld and Forbidden Island. Doing this until level 130 will get you access to Radiant Hall, Sienna B2F, Forgotten Temple 2, and Holaya Wind Hall. Starting from level 145, you can farm Makina's Outpost, the 5th Chaos Arena, and the Awakened Forbidden Island. When you reach 150, you'll want to go to Holaya Keldrasil and Awaken Forgotten Temple 2. At 160, Awaken Hazardous Valley and the 6th Chaos Arena. The level 170s are the hardest to get through, as the dungeons you unlock here, like AOD B3F and Holaya Tristy, are extremely difficult to solo run. It may be a good idea to just keep farming dungeons in previous levels to get past through here. The most important level to reach is level 130. This unlocks the Eternal Chaos Arena, which is often where you can buy leveling boosts from stronger players. Surprise surprise, using alts is the best way to get ahead in this game. I hope you don't discount boosting, as this is by far the easiest and fastest way to level, especially if you haven't experienced leveling to 200 before. Aside from level 130, the next most important level to reach is level 180. Reaching level 180 guarantees that you can reach 200, since you can finally enter one of the best dungeons in the game for XP, which are the 7 Chaos Arena and the Devil's Towers. These dungeons give you so much XP that they're still probably good to run until level 200. In my playthrough, I spent the first 7 days getting to level 180 and the remaining 7 days just farming Chaos Arena 7 and the Devil's Towers over and over again. When you reach level 190, you unlock the second part of the Devil's Tower. Adding this to your rotation alone will eventually get you to 200. In the title of this video, I'm gonna say that it took me only 14 days. But this is actually kind of a lie, as in those 14 days, I only played an average of 2 hours. If I had been truly playing the game, this would have taken me maybe a week and a half at most, with the ridiculous XP boost Cabal gave me. Overall, the process of actively grinding for XP is boring, expensive, and generally not really worth it. The Force Archer character that I created just for this channel was deliberately left at only 190-ish, just so I could show new players that there's so much progress you can gain without leveling to max. I advise only leveling to 200 just so you can unlock most features and all dungeons in the game. In my next video, I'll talk about what's really important to do in Cabal. So if you wanna see that, make sure to sub to the channel. Hope you like this one though. Bye bye!